And Kamala Harris will announce her running mate very soon.
Indeed, she has promised to do it by the 7th. She's meeting with each of the potential candidates this weekend, and will come to her decision. I sort of suspect the field is pretty narrow at this point, probably between the Pennsylvania governor, Shapiro, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. But, a surprise could come out. They haven't had time to vet too many people to do the background check that they need to. So the potential for surprises is probably a little narrower than most years.
When we chatted a number of weeks ago, it was a very different looking situation. We had Joe Biden, of course, the debate had just happened and it was a disaster for the Democrats. Now we have Kamala Harris with the kind of momentum we haven't seen for a long, long time, and has been very interesting to watch.
Indeed, it has. It's been even more experience to live through here in the United States. Vice President Harris has momentum right now, and that's a hard thing to develop, but she's done an excellent job of uniting the Democrats and in creating some excitement in the base. She's raised a vast amount of money, and a lot of it is small contributions. Small contributions are important, not just for their dollar value, but also because they indicate a lot of interest among voters in supporting President Harris. So that means there's depth of commitment to her campaign that'll play out in November. I think what's also been quite interesting is that former President Trump's campaign has not been very effective at challenging the Harris momentum. They haven't found a message yet that's working, and they've been playing a little bit weak with their vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance, who hasn't been as strong as they suspected. So it's been a very interesting 2 weeks in the United States.
There's been quite a bit of shooting themselves in the foot as well. When you think of the Republican side of things, they had it all set how they were going to attack Joe Biden, and this is a completely different set of circumstances.
It is, but they should have been prepared. A good campaign would anticipate, particularly after the debate performance, that there might be a change. Even if they didn't think it was going to happen, they should have had some messages prepared to attack Vice President Harris, some ads ready to run, and that they didn't do. I think they were also a little surprised that despite the fact that Senator Vance was elected to the U.S. Senate last year, he really wasn't prepared for the campaign. He didn't have an effective way of responding to and limiting the effect of some of his previous statements. And in fact, he did what former President Trump did, and he defended himself, which was just the wrong thing to do.
Do you think a lot of what we're seeing now is basically a reaction to what we heard a number of months ago, that they didn't want to see? The US public did not want to see Donald Trump and Joe Biden go up. And the whole idea of Kamala Harris, who's doing a great job, obviously, but is so new and fresh and different and aspirational.
I think you're absolutely right, Tim. The advantage that Vice President Harris has is that the American public, both Democrats and Republicans, had been asking for an alternative. She presents that. She presents it very strongly. I think equally importantly, the American people, we're treating sort of Donald Trump as the new thing, which is what he had been since 2016. He's no longer the new thing, and there's a new thing, and that is at least getting people's attention, which is what you want to do at this stage in the campaign. People aren't going to vote for another 2 months or so, but they're paying attention in a way that they weren't a month or two ago, and that's very, very important for the Harris campaign.
Are we going to see the first female US president?
Well, had you asked me 8 years ago, I probably would have said yes, and that would have been Secretary Clinton. So I'm not sure that I'm a very good predictor, but she has an even shot at it right now. And I think the answer will come in how she runs the campaign and how President Trump runs his campaign over the next few months.
What do you make of what you're seeing in the swing states? Because there has been a swing in the swing states.
There has indeed. President Trump, former President Trump, remains ahead, according to the polling, in at least 4 of those 6 swing states. I think Vice President Harris has been successful, though, in bringing them back into the margin of error, so she has a shot in each of them. I think she's also added North Carolina as a potential swing state, so bringing that up to 7. The importance here is that she has more ways that she could win the presidency in the Electoral College than President Biden did, and that's important for the Democrats. But if I had to put money down right now, former President Trump is still ahead in at least 4 of those 6 states.
What are the biggest dangers for Kamala Harris now heading forward to November?
Well, the first one will be this vice presidential nominee. The vetting, which usually goes on for at least 2 months, had to have been done in 2 weeks. So there could be something lurking in the background of Governor Shapiro or Senator Kelly that we don't know about. If that comes out in the next week or 2, it makes Harris look weak and unsuccessful. Some of her campaign statements from when she ran for president in 2000 are going to be used against her. She was running in a much more liberal field then, and she had to take some positions that I don't know that she would agree with today. I don't know that she agreed with them in 2000, for that matter. Those were going to come out. We can be confident that the Trump campaign will come up with a message that works, at least among their base voters, to oppose Vice President Harris. I think he tried a version of that at a conference of Black journalists this week, where he questioned Vice President Harris's commitment to African Americans in the United States. That won't play with African Americans, but it may energize Republicans to turn out in what will be a very close election. And then finally, either candidate could make a flub that catches on. The risk in being in the people's attention is that if you make a flub, it will get spread through social media very, very quickly, and that could make either candidate, but I think your Vice President Harris runs a bigger risk of looking weak. And she can't do that right now because former President Trump will attack if he's given an opportunity.
You mentioned social media, and as we wrap it up, that is a big, big thing. Who can possibly grab a generational message? And when I say that, I mean the younger vote. And of course, it's no one is forced to go to vote in the United States. If there is some momentum through social media, there is some momentum through these influences that exist in social media, that could be a big thing.
It already has been. Some of the momentum that we're seeing with Vice President Harris is that she and her campaign have developed a good strategy to rely on influencers and to rely on social media in a way that President Biden at age 82 simply could not. So the energy that is in the Harris campaign is in part coming from social media and from the influencers. That's a risky sort of a twin-edged sword, though, because if they go off the deep end, former President Trump can easily seize that and use it as part of his message that Vice President Harris is somehow different and simply not ready for the presidency. So this will be the first truly social media presidential campaign, and at this point, Vice President Harris has the advantage in that campaign.
Lewis, always good to chat. We'll do it again real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim.